Hey YouTube, it's Candy, aka Candy Sweet Enough, and I wanted to come to you with a video today talking about the age-old question: is weight loss surgery the easy way out? The easy answer, not if you're doing it right. You shouldn't enter into this thinking that your body's just going to take care of yourself. You should be, if you're willing to go through surgery to change something, you should be willing to make those changes permanent, not just a temporary fix. If you enter into this thinking that you don't have to do anything, more than likely you're going to gain your weight back. You may lose weight, but it's not going to stay off. The reason that I had weight loss surgery, and I've said it a million times before, but I'm going to talk about it again, is because I was diabetic. I was insulin diabetic. My grandmother passed away at the age of 60 in a diabetic coma. My mother has lost her eyesight in one eye because of diabetes. It runs rampant through my whole family, and I did not want to go through that. What led me up to this was, I was just miserable. I was a miserable person. I hated being on insulin. I was not one of those people that felt sick when she ate too much sugar. I felt sick if my sugar dropped, and of course with insulin, I had a lot of those drops. Going through that all the time was flat out misery. I was getting ready to my cholesterol was going up, and I had a lot of back pain. I have a really big butt and a swayed back, and so anything that I gained, of course, it threw me off, and I was always very uncomfortable. I had a pinched sciatic nerve a lot. I still do have that, but and I suffered from depression. I suffer from anxiety, all sorts of stuff, and I was trying to treat each one of these individual things, trying to deal with the back pain, trying to get my sugars under control but not low, not having them drop. I was dealing with all this, and then of course the stress brings my sugars up. There was a million things going on, and finally I looked at my husband and I said, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. Maybe I need to lose weight and hopefully get rid of the diabetes. I said, you know what, I'm going to find out about weight loss surgery. I'm going to find out about the lap band. So I talked to one of my friends who had, the same insurance that I had, sorry, and she had already talked to them, and she said, well, if your BMI is over 40, you're automatically in, but since you're diabetic, it could be lower, so you should definitely go talk to your doctor. And I did. I just said, so would I be able to have weight loss surgery? She looked, the lap band, and she looks and she goes, yep, you wanted the class, that was it. That was all it took. I went to my orientation thinking, okay, I'm going to find out about the lap band, and as soon as I got the information, I'm like, oh, the lap band's not for me. They were explaining that if you have diabetes, that gastric bypass was the way to go. I came home and did a lot of research. I saw a 60 Minutes special about the effects of gastric bypass on diabetes. I will try to put the link below to that because it's very interesting. They did tests on like diabetic rats, and it has to do with the gastric, the actual bypass part. When they did the bypass, it got rid of the diabetes in the rats. When they reversed it and put it back, the diabetes came back. So I was going to have a greater chance of getting rid of my diabetes sooner, or put it into remission, sooner, with gastric bypass. So that's what I decided to do. Now, I did have a low BMI, and my BMI when I started was 40. I was below 40 by the time that I had my surgery. When I started, I was 260. I had always been about 240 my whole life. I've lost weight many, many times, but I always go back to that 240. That's just where my body's comfortable. I finally got up. I had, through lots of stresses, my weight went up to 260, and I knew that it was time to take care of it because I don't want that to be where my body feels comfortable. So my BMI was lower. So I went through everything, very, very long journey, and I finally had my surgery. My surgery was not without complications. I had internal bleeding and was stuck in the hospital. I felt miserable when I woke up. Let me tell you, the surgery part itself, not easy. Nobody can go through that surgery and think, yeah, this was the easy way out. I know that people told me, well, you've had 3 C-sections, it should be pretty easy for you. This was much harder for me. Everybody's different, but the surgery itself was very hard for me. The recovery was very hard for me. But I went home with no insulin. A week out, I was noticing really good drops, and my sugars were getting way more normal. 2 weeks out, my sugars were lower than they had ever been, and I'm, 11, 12 weeks out now, and my diabetes is gone. You know, in remission, yeah, I have to say in remission, but it's out of my life, and I cannot tell you what joy that brings me. I'm already a success in my eyes because I didn't really care about the weight loss part. I cared about getting rid of my diabetes. Of course, to make sure that the diabetes never comes back, I have to care about the weight loss. But my whole goal was to be healthy, and I am healthy now, and I am beside myself excited. So that first and foremost, if I have an argument with anybody, how can you argue that somebody doesn't need to be on insulin? You can't argue that. Where was my life better? My grandmother died at the age of 60. So, is it better to have the weight loss surgery, or to take the risk of losing my eyesight like my mother, or losing my life like my grandmother? Nobody can argue that. I used medical technology in my favor and saved my life. Can't argue with that. And even though I had something serious happen in the hospital, I was fine. It can happen. But what was worse, staying miserable, having these sugar drops, putting my body into all this shock. No, I wasn't healthy. I'm healthy now. So, but no amount of videos that you watch, nothing that you hear can really truly prepare you for what the surgery is going to be like. And it's more mental than anything. Yes, the weight comes off fast. I'm ecstatic. I weigh 195 now. Went from 260, was 130, 260, 235 the day of surgery, 195 today. That's really fast. I couldn't have that weight loss that fast any other way. But mentally, it's a struggle. It's a struggle every day. Getting in your water, okay? First thing when I wake up in the morning, my body does not want that water. It's really hard, like my pouch is swollen or something, and it's very, very hard for me to get in the water. Then I have to go with the whole 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after, no eating, drinking around that. So, and then if I have a snack, oh my gosh, there goes another hour of not drinking. And it never fails. I won't think about the drinking and go, oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, but it's time to eat. So I don't drink, and then it's ongoing. So it's a struggle for me to get in my fluids. It's a struggle. I do have dumping syndrome. Now, I have not tested to see exactly what kind of sugars, but I've had dumping syndrome on things like peanut butter. I don't know if it was because, it's not because of the sugar. It was low sugar peanut butter is made for us. But it, for some reason, made me very sick, so my body just didn't like it. But I've had my body not like certain things. Oh, I did have some sauce on some shrimp that was like a teriyaki. I didn't realize it was a full teriyaki, and it didn't even think about how much sugar was in it, and I dumped off of that. So I do know that my body does dump off of sugar. And I'm scared enough of that dumping syndrome to not try it again. Like I said, when I was diabetic, did not feel bad when I ate sugar. Now I'm fearful of the sugar. So, does it make that easier? Well, yes, kinda, but it still doesn't make me not want it. Mentally, I still want it, but I just can't have it because I have to, it's not worth growing up over. The proportions, yeah. It's so hard slowing your eating down. That's my biggest problem right now, and I get so many stuck episodes and everything because it's so hard to slow down. And I think that I'm eating slower, and I am eating slower, but not as slow as I need to. So that's another really big mental block to get over. Um, and you know, I'm finding myself eating the right foods and everything like that. Part of it is that I can't explain it. Part of it is easier. I don't know why I'm making the right choices, but I am. Everything, your taste definitely changed. That goes without, you know, it definitely changes. You won't, I don't crave the sugars as much as I did, and I don't crave the carbs as much as I did. Of course, I don't allow those carbs in, and that makes it, once your body just kind of adjusts to it, it's okay, but I still want snacks, and I still want stuff, and I still, it drives me crazy watching people eat stuff and everything like that I want. That part's not easy, but, and I'm struggling so bad right now because I keep on playing this game with myself of, well, I think I'm in a way healthier position because I'm not eating the same things. Now, instead of eating potato chips, I have gotten bags of pop chips. Are the pop chips good for me? No. And they're also slider food, and I could eat way more of them than I could eat of any other food. So, trying to stop myself from that, and yet the fat girl in me saying, you know what, you are doing so much better than you did before. But that's not where I want to be. I don't want to make it okay for myself to snack and do stuff. And yet, you know, with the increased exercise and everything, I'm hungry, and I don't know if it's mental hunger. I don't know if it's real hunger. I cannot tell. And I try to do the water, hoping that it will make it go away. No, it's a mental struggle. It's really hard. You know what? What is easier? Mentally telling yourself that you cannot do this, or you will be sick, or you will be miserable and everything like that, forcing your body into this, or, you know, trying to do it naturally, trying to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to diet, but you know what, every once in a while on that diet, if you slip up, it's okay, it's alright. Over here, yeah, I'm physically ill. I have to stick to it, or else I'm physically ill. Not easy. Neither way is easy. There is no easy way of losing weight, period. But this is not the easy way out. I still have to exercise, and being of a lower BMI, I have major struggles with the losing weight. Yes, I lose weight way faster than I would any other way, but I'm gaining weight, especially when I increase my fluids. But then when I increase my fluids, my weight comes off faster. That's a mental struggle. I'm sorry, I'm losing my track of thought, but I had all this in my head, and it's hard to keep it all going. Sorry, you guys, but I find myself wanting, the exercise and everything like that. I still have to exercise because I find that my weight may come off faster, but guess what? When you increase your exercise, normally you have a little bit of either a stall or a gain. Everybody automatically goes, okay, I'm going to quit exercising. No. It's just your body adjusting to everything. I go through it too. I think, why am I exercising when I'm gaining? But then all of a sudden, sometime down the road, you'll see a really big loss, or you'll see huge changes in your clothes. You know, just from increasing exercise, I find that I'll go down a pant size in a week. How does that happen, you know? So it doesn't stop you from exercising. It doesn't stop you from eating the right foods. It doesn't stop you from, you know, mentally wanting stuff that you can't have. None of it is easy. But it's the only way that I could get what I needed, and I needed to be healthy. So, for those trying to decide whether or not you want the surgery, what are your comorbidities? I can never say that word. What are your health issues? If you're diabetic, you guys, diabetes kills. Diabetes harms. I have so many family members that go through it, and I've seen what it can do. And it's scary. People take it so lightly, especially if you're just on oral medicines. People just think, oh, well, she's diabetic. No. And then all of a sudden when you say, I'm insulin, then it scares people because people have a fear of needles. And people have a fear of poking something in your body and drawing blood and everything like that. That scares people. And so all of a sudden they take it serious. But you know what? Even if you're on oral medications, it's still serious. It is a major disease. And if you could figure out a way of getting that out of your life, you would have a surgery if you had a heart attack, right? You wouldn't think anything of it. Yet if you can cure your diabetes, if you could put it into remission, you wouldn't have a surgery to do that? It doesn't make any sense, guys. It doesn't make any sense why somebody would think that this is the easy way out, that there's other ways of handling it. Yes, you know, if you lost weight, I might be able to get rid of my diabetes. Might. Everybody in my family has it, including people that are thin. And they're finding out, they're trying to get the gastric bypass to work on patients that are not obese, that are of a normal weight, to try to find out if they could get rid of their diabetes. That's serious. And this is something that you could tell people, you know. People don't know. They don't know the facts. And they still think of this as a cosmetic thing. Yeah, well, LASIK surgery is a cosmetic thing, but nobody thinks bad about that. It's major, guys. It really majorly changes your life. And I really wish that I could put into words exactly what kind of struggles I go through being a gastric bypass patient. It's really hard. And you know what? Stand up for yourself. Don't let other people tell you that you should or should not do the surgery. If you've had a surgery, don't let people tell you that you took the easy way out, because this isn't easy. And yet it is. It's the only way that I could be living the life that I'm living today. So I'm really sorry that this went long, but I'm very passionate about this. And I hope you guys are all having a good day, okay? Bye.